If your wife
left
you on Saturday night, what would you do on Sunday morning?
You gotta hear this.
Can't hear nothing.
Yeah.
I can't hear nothing, dude.
Well, it's because you boys elected to not where it comes.
It must have been for the viewers.
Not for the podcast.
Yeah,
Well, if you were
not for the
wearing
guys
earpieces,
in studio.
you guys were whining.
You shut your mouth.
Hey, let's talk about walleye plastics. But first of all, welcome everybody to TRS Live Podcast. I'm Matt Trotz, Justin Munt, store manager, right here. Raise it up high.
Present.
Michael Williams, you know him from the archery counter, the hunting guy. He also walleye fishes. Everybody, is that cool, Mike? Do you like walleye fishing?
I love walleye fishing. That's all I do.
I secretly believe that Mike loves walleye fishing more than he loves archery.
Oh,
would you like to comment on that?
Yeah,
Mike?
let's go. Let's dive deep into that. We had Justin.
Yeah, partially, yeah.
I would say you probably spend more time
Walleye
on the water
fishing?
than you do in the woods.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But which one are you
100%.
better
Successful
at?
rate? Man, that's another.
I'm good at everything I do.
Yeah.
So
he's equally bad at all of them, is what you're trying to say.
Exactly it.
And Justin
You're
is
in
just
good
a
company.
jack of all trades.
Yeah, master of none. Let's move on.
Master of none.
Spawn chaser.
Oh,
Yeah, we should have that conversation because that's a pretty real thing.
let's save that one for a different. Hey, but let's do this, Justin, right? We want to do a little bit of a giveaway today. So we are on 3 platforms. Okay. We are on Fix TV.
1,
We are on Facebook
2,
and
YouTube.
Okay.
Trace.
So let's do. I'm gonna. You don't know this, but we're gonna give away a flannel.
Oh, those are really nice flannels.
These are
by the
super
way.
nice flannels. The store employees wear these, and you guys look great when you rock these flannels.
We got some pretty looking guys here. I think we look.
We have a great looking staff.
As long as they're closed.
Let's do this. So we have Andy. How many people are on right now? 15. All right, let's get up to 25.
25.
25.
All right.
Yep. So tell people to share it. If you share this, and we can get it up, we'll start simple. If we can get up to 15 viewers, let's say on all 3 platforms right now, or do you want to go 20?
I don't know. You make the call on that one.
All right, let's
you
go
got a
20
better
on
idea.
all 3 platforms. Andy, you got to count. As soon as we hit 20 on all 3, we'll randomly pick a name.
So let's do one more.
Oh, yes.
Let's sweeten the pot a little bit.
I love pot.
Mike's-
I mean, sweeten stuff.
Yep. All right, a little early.
Like cookie pots.
Actually, it's
I mean,
not too early.
Yeah.
It's never-
Fire it up. We're ready. I'm
Mike,
still a dude
Mike
factor mode.
is going to pick one bag of his favorite plastics for spring walleye, and we're going to include that bag of plastics with that sweet flannel.
Oh!
Moving on.
A Mike pick who's great at walleye fishing. So we're doing 20. Okay. All right. So Andy, you got to help me kind of count it out. Let me know when we hit that number. So you better start sharing. If you guys want to win something today, you better start sharing. And we're also going to inform you on walleye plastics. It's spring someplace in the United States, or getting to be springish.
Yeah.
The Fox River is open. The Wolf River is open. I don't know if they've ever put boats out there yet this year.
I haven't seen anything yet, but I know it's wide open. As long as the river in Oshkosh is wide open too. I know some of the docks are open there too.
And again, it's so like there's areas that if you wanted to get out there, like they've been pounding on the Fox.
Yeah, right now if you're on the Fox and you can't catch fish, you're a moron.
Whoa.
Literally.
You just
Literally.
We need to have viewers.
I think we should rephrase that. If
No,
you're having
I'm not.
trouble catching fish on the Fox,
no.
stop in and see Mike.
Yes.
That too.
Let him,
Great
let
job,
him,
John.
And don't let me.
let him re-rig
I'm
you.
trying not to
Let's-
tell you that you're a moron by not catching fish up there right now.
God.
Well, we're tackling the business end today, but
Yes.
it
Yeah.
makes
So-
a difference from the line all the way up to your hand.
All right.
that's
So
important
here's the
too.
deal, guys. Like this is one thing that we discuss a lot at the Real Shot and in life in general. Like because a lot of you guys do this stuff day in day out, right? Things become second nature. But if we had to go beginner style, right? We're going to go way back to like when you guys first were learning how to do walleye plastic fishing, because that's popular this time of year.
Yep.
Let's go into why are plastics so good this time of year first, and then let's go into body styles, and then we'll kind of elaborate from there. So I know it's tough to think way back. You guys are both freaking young pups.
Well, I mean, if you go all the way back, you just grab one of the jigs on the table, slap a fat head or a shiner on it,
Yeah,
and bang it off the bottom.
yeah,
so
but we're not.
that still accounts for a huge percentage of fish caught in
Yep.
the spring. Like,
I think that's just guys just not doing something different. They're just afraid of using plastic. Prime example, a buddy of mine. I started using plastics, I don't know, 30 some years ago. And me and a buddy run the river in the Wolf, down by like Fremont, Chico's place down there, stuff like that. And I was running plastics, he's running minnows, and he was just getting beat up. Like, I don't know if those fish were just neutral or negative, but I mean, I had like 6, 7, 8 fish in the boat before he had one. He's losing minnows, getting short hit, ran out of minnows. There's some little kid fishing on the shoreline. We pull up to him. My buddy literally gives a kid like $3 for 2 dead minnows in his bucket. That's all he had left.
Yeah.
We go back out. I drop the plastic down. He's rigging his up. I'm already hooked up. By the time he drops his down, he misses one. Says, give me one of those plastics. Puts one on. Misses the fish. Goes back to the minnow. I drop my plastic down and we're done.
Yep.
I mean, I think he caught 1 fish.
Yep.
And since then, I don't think he's bought minnows for walleye.
Well, and that's the biggest thing, right? Like, you got to weigh out your options. Minnows are somewhat inexpensive, especially the prices that we have here.
Yeah.
But cold hands, keeping them alive, You're grabbing them in a rush when the fish are absolutely biting.
Yep.
I mean, there's a lot of negatives to the live bait, but then there's sometimes too where live bait is just what we go into. But I think we've had a platform through our world that has proven the fact that plastics will catch fish when live bait won't.
100%.
And plastics will give you colder hands too, because you're going to be constantly picking fish out of the water.
Well, right.
Versus dipping in the bucket 3 times during that day.
Right.
But there's also like great gloves and all the other things that we carry here to help negate that problem. So like, okay, so that's the biggest thing. And what is it about the spring of the year where you guys feel that plastics are the go-to bait compared to some other artificials? What is it about the spring?
I don't think it's honestly. It's not even just a spring thing. It's just an artificial bait thing. I think you just at a point. I mean, there's certain times of year, certain species that live bait is absolutely necessary. I would maybe argue pike in the winter on tip ups. Like it's hard to target that species without schmelt or a minnow or shiner or whatever. But I just think it's all like what you said. You have a full assortment of plastics, jigs, tackle. There's just really no need in today's, walleye fishery, especially on the Great Lakes for live bait as an option.
But is it like spring of the year, dirty water, current flow, cold water, all that stuff? I mean, that's obviously why you'd want to go to a plastic sometimes over like a rip and wrap or a blade bait, right?
It's really just it's your type of plastic.
I'm using all of those baits this time of year.
Okay. You guys aren't really helping me here. I'm trying to talk about plastics. So you guys are
I'm running.
You guys are doing a wonderful job.
Well, here let's just put Mike on the spot and let's say what's the first plastic he's throwing in the first time he gets out in the boat in the spring.
There you go.
Like,
Great question.
Where are you starting?
I'm throwing something like a shad style like this.
What can you show? Andy, what camera do you want him to hold it to? Or let me hold it while you're digging.
Can you bring that camera?
He can move and zoom these cameras here.
Like literally my first one.
Yeah, but we have these two. See, there's those two.
Oh, yeah, gotcha.
So there. So he's on that one right there, Mike. So if you want to hold it up.
One? That one there?
Yep.
All right, sweet.
Nope, he's not on that one.
Which one? That's what I'm looking
that
at.
one.
There you go. Hold it right there. He's going to take him a second to focus and maybe zoom in a little bit.
So like really,
yep.
My boat, I will have 3 or 4 rods already rigged before I get on the water. Jigging plastic. I'll have a blade bait on one.
Well, explain what you have there, because you got to hold it better than what you're doing.
So I got
It's
Lunker
like
City.
Cats with you boys today.
Right? Well, I'm like trying to look at the TV and try to see where we are here because they're zooming in on my belly.
All right, you're holding the great bag. Oh, that's my hand. never, I'm sorry
Hey, at
about
least
that.
if we don't teach anybody anything,
I
at least
know,
we're
right?
educational. And
Hey,
funny,
you know what?
right?
We're here to have fun. And
Okay, so go ahead.
So I'm running a split tail, either this or like the Kitech, or the Berkeley one that we got that me and Nick talked about last week.
that power minnow? It's in there. It's in there somewhere.
Yeah, that guy right there.
I literally went down the wall and just grabbed. There are so many options on our wall; it will blow your mind.
Oh, yeah. We got
Can you
so
hand
many
them to me then,
plastics.
and then I'll hold them, Andy. I'll get them on this camera, and I'll hold them here so you can kind of zoom and do what you need to do on them. So we'll continue talking, Michael.
So, yeah, I'll have 3, 4 rods already rigged up. As far as colors, I don't get too crazy. A lot of my colors in my boat are like shades of white and grays and silvers and stuff like that. I mean, I got a couple funky yellows and chartreuse. But I mean, this time of year in the spring, honestly, I don't think color matters.
So can you hand me some of the other ones here?
Yeah,
like
like
I'll
that
just
guy
kind of
there.
continue show. So like this is the power bait here. What is this one? The power swimmer. This is like newer, isn't it?
It's a newer one, yeah. I
Yeah,
believe.
within the last couple of years they came out with that. The whole
So then here, what do I
rib to
have?
swim bait. I don't know who started the whole rib swim bait.
Right.
So I'm gonna put this one down here, and then so now this is Lunker City. Why do you? Now here's the thing. Like you guys were arguing over why did we not have this one to begin with? Like before we went live. What is it about the Lunker City stuff that Mike that you really absolutely love?
Durability for one. I could probably catch 40 fish on it before I got to replace it.
Okay.
You know?
So do you grab most of the split tails, right?
Me personally, I'm running a lot of the split tail, like the fluke styles. That's what I run.
Are you vertical jigging those?
I'm vertical jigging. I'm ripping them, I'm casting them, jigging them back.
These
That's the thing about plastics. They're so versatile. You can do whatever you want with them. You don't have to vertical jig with them.
Well, so your
here, Andy. I'm gonna show you.
split
This is
tail.
what when he refers to the split tail. This is what you're talking about, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if
the fluke style.
straight split tail, very little action. All the action basically is imparted by the angler versus like a paddle tail
The
where
paddle tail where you're swimming it and
the
stuff.
bait actually has its own action just based on the way it was designed.
Correct.
Okay.
So Mike's looking for cold water, less
Oh.
less aggressive presentation when he's running those straights.
But at the same time, if I need to get aggressive, I can snap jig these. I don't have there's no sense. I mean, I got very few paddle tails in my box. I have some.
Funny.
I can't say that I've.
It's a funny story. I have very few straight tails, and I have almost exclusively
Well, why is that?
paddle
Though? Is
tails.
it just a confidence thing? Why you?
I
don't?
think it is. Yeah. I mean,
for
you
sure.
find a style that you caught fish on, and you kind of stick with it. You just change up colors and stuff, sizes.
So
But
this
I
is,
mean, I'm not going to go out there and tell you that I've caught more fish on this than I have this because I haven't used this as much. But when I've used this, I've caught fish.
So can I have again? We're talking beginner type stuff right now. Can you grab me out one? Is there one that I can grab a paddle tail out?
Yeah, right here. Oh yeah, these aren't
Here. So this is a split tail. This is a Lunker City. This is what Mike kind of prefers. But then we go over here. Now, what is this brand, Justin?
This is RTM Tackle. This is a local brand, New London.
New London, correct.
Yep.
Yep.
And this is the paddle tail. So there, if I hold them carefully, there you can kind of definitely see the differences.
The RTM's more like
Sorry.
it's like the custom tackle that we do in a plastic. So this guy really just pours colors that are hard to find from other vendors.
Okay, I'm
And
gonna
that's
drop my
why I
hands
care.
in.
That's why I run these. I'm not going to run these because they're paddle tails. I'm running because these got cool colors.
Yeah, this one here. I mean, what is the name of
That's
this?
hot steel.
That's
That's an
funky,
awesome
man.
color.
You want to see Pimp Daddy?
I love
That's a
that's the
good
actual
color.
name of it.
Yeah.
Pimp Daddy.
That's
yeah.
a sweet name. See, that would be like we talked about the other day with the blade bait stuff. Is
We
like
got
that's the funnest part is naming
Naming them, yeah.
Ooh, look at this, Andrew. Ready? Let me know when you're ready here. There's a Pimp Daddy. What
Pimp
size is this?
Daddy.
That's a 3/8.
Okay.
So it's available in what 2/8, 3/3, 3/8.
3/8.
I don't know if some of his colors he doesn't have in the 2/8 and the double tail pour, but
But we could get them. if
Are
we needed
these
to.
in store on everything we're talking about in store? And
everything in
online?
here is in store and
online.
line.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, sorry, Andy. Is
Yep.
that me moving or is that you?
So every into
Okay. Well, they
Every
I think they got a
single-
good look.
every
they can go to
single-
the website too and check it out.
brand of plastic, body style. So every bag is, except Mike grabbed a couple of the 4-inch finesse fish, but
Yep.
Okay.
almost everything. We got like 30 different manufacturers here, and this is not all of them, but within these body styles or bags, there's another 10 to 40 colors. I mean, the
Easily,
the
yeah.
assortment. Have you
was
guys seen our
ridiculous.
walleye plastic wall? It's I think about 80 feet long, and
The-
It's
yeah.
ridiculous.
currently it's about 18 feet high.
Okay, so so you guys kind of both talked about your favorites. Talk about like the application and the techniques. At Fox River, are we vertical jigging or are we casting for the most
Both.
part?
You cover more water casting and jigging back. you know.
Okay.
You can vertical jig them. I mean, that's what I like about plastic. It's so versatile. You do whatever you want with it.
Yeah.
You got guys out there with their 7-foot medium fast rod trying to cast an 8-ounce jig with a minnow, and you're watching the jig go and his minnow go.
Yeah, that's frustrating.
It's fun to watch.
And then the other thing too is like I wanted to ask is like because you guys keep referring to the minnow stuff. Like, how often with the plastics do you put a stinger on them? Ever or not needed as much?
I don't even know if I own a stinger.
I mean, I got a bunch of stingers, but sometimes you need them, sometimes you don't. I'll notice it right away. The first few fish, if I'm getting hit but not hooking up, I'll throw a stinger on. But if I'm catching without a stinger, there's no need for it.
Well, the other thing that you can do too with the plastics is you can just trim up your plastic a little bit.
You can too.
Yep.
And it doesn't have a huge effect on the action.
No.
If it's the action that they're going with, and obviously keep it a full bait. But like, is it like one of those things too? Is like the bigger the profile, sometimes the bigger the fish, or does it not really matter?
I caught big fish on tiny baits and little fish on big giant baits.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. So I think it's just trying to dial in what they want. So they'll eat a 4, but if they're more readily if they want to, they'll eat a 3/8. But if you switch to a 3/3 and you're starting to get twice as many bites, obviously they're keying in on that size of forage. So
Correct.
That's like match to hatch 101, right?
Yeah. So that great. I'm glad you mentioned that. Thank you for that, because like you said, you have like a bunch of rods tied up with a bunch of different plastics, a bunch of different colors.
Color size.
What is main forage this time of year that you guys are keying in on when you're picking those baits?
That's a great question.
That's a good question.
You damn right it is. That's what my job is.
I know, right?
Well, it may. So I'm thinking it may not even be main forage in the river systems because they're not in there to eat.
No, they're getting up there. They're pre-spawned.
They're pre-spawned. So
they're eating, cruising around, waiting for.
They're opportunists, and walleyes eat just about anything. People think they're picky and finicky, but
they can be some days.
They can be.
But at this time of year,
they're
garbage
not cans.
Super picky this time of year.
Which is funny because like we've had a lot of our pro anglers talk about stuff, and they said like they have walleyes in tanks, and they are more aggressive than any other fish in that tank. Right?
Yep.
They're like a pack hunter. They're like just a seek and destroy.
Yeah,
100%. But then like any other fish, like there's just days they're neutral.
Oh yeah, I was.
But what is the thing? Like you always tell me one thing: fish's main job is to do what in nature? Like it's
eat
and breed
and shit. I mean,
right,
and swim.
That's it. So, but they're gonna eat at some point.
At some point, yeah. I mean, you get those days where they're not going in the morning. I mean, you just grind it out. I mean, they got to go sometime.
Yep.
I mean, they're not gonna not eat.
Right.
They're not gonna starve themselves. Even tournament fishing too, you get those days that you're just grinding out there, so you find that window where they're gonna go off. Days you do, sometimes you don't.
Isn't it crazy how bite windows are really a thing?
Oh yeah. Yep. Spend enough time on the water,
you'll figure that out.
You'll figure that out real quick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just before we continue on with the plastic talk, I'm gonna remind like Die Hard Angling that's on and anybody else on. We're doing a giveaway, so Andy's got it written in the chat. But if we get 20 across all 3 platforms today, Justin said we're giving away a TRS flannel. And then what was the other thing? Mike's going to pick out one of these awesome plastics and give it away?
Pro pick pack from Mike.
Yeah, I'll give you one of my favorite plastics.
So go ahead and share it. Start sharing it. Share.
Tell you what it is. You'll have to see it when you get it. When you get it. So.
Okay.
So that's a $6 to $8 value on top of the wonderful flannel. So
these are really nice too. Like they are. There it is. See, Die Hard started the game.
Flannels
sharing
flannels are
Take
back.
some friends too.
If we can just get khaki pants back and
those
are like performance wind pants.
Yeah, dude. I'll never go back to jeans ever with these. These stretched 4-way stretched stuff.
I mean, he's got his skinnies on, so I think he's just used to it.
Well, Justin's like
what?
Super skitty.
Whoa.
But he's got a killer hook set though. With the walleye plastic. So let's continue on.
Let's talk about daylight savings time. It's going to the Senate.
Okay, so we talked about like the types, right? We got the paddle tail, split tail. What else? Like what's the beef fishing stuff? They got a couple different options, right?
Basically a rib swim bait, and they got the ringworm or whatever style.
Can you answer?
I'm gonna hand them to you, and then
thanks.
You
and then Andy, whenever you're ready, let me know. So
they've been around. Yeah, this is one of the, I wouldn't say one of the original brands, but this has been fished hard for probably one of the first plastic brands, and maybe it was just the introduction to the ringworm. That thing used to be the juice. It's still fished.
Yeah.
But the number of fishermen that are migrating from like the ringworm, which is almost like just a long twister tail.
That's this one right here.
That's that one in your that hand.
And this is the pulsar. Obviously,
and that's the pulsar.
But it's a little blurry and there's a little. Yep. Okay. Why? All right. I'm trying to.
I got a question for go ahead.
Beginner questions.
Yeah.
Why are they ribbed? What is the benefit of ribbed versus unplugged? I mean, we can go there, guys.
Unribbed,
you
right?
want to go there? We can, right?
It's all about the feel. It's all about the feel.
I really do think the rib brings more pleasure to the fish. I really think that's all there is to it.
I mean, it sounds really crude and
rude,
but it's the truth, though, right?
Depending
on
how
vibration,
it's extra vibration, water displacement, stuff like that. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, great. I mean, it's. Remember, I'm trying to be the beginner fisherman, which I'm pretending. but I'm not. That's legit question.
You're the host with the most.
I'm just trying to ask the questions. I'm trying to educate the public.
I know,
here.
and it's
you guys got such big fans out there. They love
Die Hard's got it shared.
He did share it, yep. And
Thanks,
I told him to start
Appreciate
tagging
that.
some people. So tell your friends, Die Hard, start tagging. He's
Hey, Die Hard, what's your favorite? Hey, what's your favorite go-to plastic in the spring? If you could only pick one,
You pick one plastic.
great.
I don't
what
care
are you
what
putting on
color.
right
Love
now?
the interaction. You guys are doing such a good job with today's show. And Andy just informed me we're 12
Mike and I,
so far across the board. So
we're
if we get
pretty
to
sweet.
20, we're giving some stuff away.
Right, we're pretty sweet.
So that's a great question. Okay, so what about this? Scented versus unscented. When and where, and then what are some of the things that you brought here to go with the scented stuff?
Boy, scent or unscent, I don't know, dirty, clean. A lot of the plastics are already scented, so
Salt infused.
I think,
talk about like why do they do these different things to these plastics?
Just fish attraction in general. You got current, so it's not like stagnant water. So you got that like a
scent trail,
basically. Yeah. Behind the baits, like those aren't the same.
Yeah, he's unscented.
Those smell like rubber.
So scents, and that's a in a fisherman opinion piece. Like,
yeah,
Mike's favorite plastic is my least favorite. Your favorite bait? No, I'm like, this is how the fishing industry is, right? So I love ripple shads, right?
Yeah, yep.
People hate ripple shads,
and that I don't understand that.
I see it every day. This is my favorite crankbait. Mike hates it. This guy.
I've got them. I've used them. I've yet to catch anything on them.
Which is unbelievable to me because like Justin introduced those to me, and I've caught a ton of fish in a ton of different applications with the ripple shad.
Right.
So
I've yet to catch a fish on anything.
So here,
I got like 4 bags, different colors and sizes, and I've yet to catch a fish on them.
My ripple shad window is my blade bait window. Like, it's short. It's not. I'll fish the softer plastic body styles, paddle tails a lot further into the season than I'll fish those. To me, it's a cold water. Like a blade bait's not specifically cold water, but it's generally one of the first techniques guys start snapping, right?
It's all reaction, right?
The power bait paddle tail is rigid. It's a really stiff plastic. Maybe we can touch on plastic densities.
Can we show one?
So it fishes more like I fish it more like a blade bait than I fish it like a swim bait. Yep. So I don't swim it back. I don't slow retrieve it. I literally short rip it or long rip it depending on what the fish wants.
Did you have a bigger one of these? I'm sorry. I'm trying to.
Was it 3.5 inch?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to so I can get a better camera angle. Like again, like people are notice the ripple shad, but I think it's it's a go-to staple bait that you should have in your arsenal.
I got them. I've got to catch a fish on them.
But is that more of a confidence thing?
I think it is too. Like if I'm catching fish on something and I'm not going to change it, then all of a sudden I'll throw that on and get my ass handed to me. I'm like, oh, this is stupid.
Right.
Let me put on what I know I can catch fish on.
I'm weird like that. If I'm catching fish on that, I'm like, what else will they eat? I just start thinking in the box.
If they're eating, I'm not going to change because I know they're going to eat anything.
See, and this is like a combination of everything. We got the paddle tail, we got the rib, right? We got the scent. It's got that sweet Berkeley awesome smell to it. Like, but this is, I'm sorry, Andy, but like I just feel like this is, it's got everything you kind of want in a plastic that it's just going to catch a ton of fish.
And they got some cool colors too.
That size is a little less rigid. As it gets smaller, it does get a little stiffer because it's not as much.
Is that always the case?
Mike? The smaller, the stiffer. You got the floor on this.
Yes.
We're gonna let's catch up on some of our comments. Andy, can you back up a little bit? Die Hard said I was just going to ask when y'all getting them. Okay, he said the Pulsar hands down his favorite bait.
All right.
Okay, and that was the Pulsar was
that one right there.
Paddle tail from Authentics Beef Fishing.
So that one is, and I'm sure Die Hard's going to agree with this, but that one is such a soft plastic. Literally almost zero current or zero lift will move that tail. Which is, again, that's almost the opposite spectrum of the ripple shad. The ripple shad is probably one of the stiffest.
Yeah, it's probably of what we got out here.
Yep.
This is probably,
and that's probably one of the softest.
Most pliable.
And they get, I shouldn't say soft, but the tail section's really thin, so it doesn't take much to move that back end at all.
But then again, like short striking fish will bite through that tail. So that because that plastic is so soft, you might have to replace that a couple more times. So when you're buying, don't buy one bag of your favorite color. Buy like 3, 4, 5.
Buy just one.
Oh, God.
Right. Well,
you've seen the total walleye plastics that I've used a month out of the year. It's mind-boggling.
His question, he must have been in recently purchasing them. He said, "Are you restock? A lot of things are kind of we're getting spring in like.
We just have a few holes in certain colors.
Okay.
We have the wall's 98% full, but yeah, we got some orders on the way, so they'll be filled up here the next week or so.
And then good morning, Andrew. Thanks, Brad, for sharing it. Make sure to help tag some friends. Again, 20 viewers across 3 platforms. We got some sweet giveaways. We'll pick a name and then randomly
key in the cold water. Definitely the deal. That's where he starts.
And he's a guide, so he's on the water nonstop a lot like you guys are this time of year, or hopefully soon to be on the water. So I don't want to skip over because why salt? Why is salt a go-to? And then why are we using some of these, like the liquid willow cat or the old salt stuff? Like why? And even the dip it stuff. When would you go to this? The spike it pens and
those I should have just left on the shelf. That's something that's kind of fun to play with, changing colors of bait. So Mike, he's got his selection. He grabbed Lunker City. He brought a lot of whites, right? A lot of white colors, natural colors,
a lot of whites, off-white, silvers, flashes.
Yep.
And then I got a couple funky colors, but in general, probably 90% of my bags are something white, silvers, stuff like that.
Yep. So I grabbed the Spike It because it's a 4-pack that can stay down there.
Here, I'll hold that up. So this is Spike It here.
Yep. What colors are in there? Orange, chartreuse, red, and I think it's blue.
Or purple.
So you can just take the blue and throw it out. I don't even know if you need the red one either.
Which is funny because my dad, I grew up fishing the pier. His favorite color, plastic, blue.
Yeah. Well, we saw
like blue. I'm like, dude, man,
I think blue is probably an underused color. It's a color
I think it is too.
I rarely use. But
I don't think I have anything blue plastics, but my dad always had blue.
There's quite a few guys that just love blue, blue, silver. It's like the go-to. And you talk, Mike, about matching the hatch, right? Going back to nature, matching a lot of things. Bait fish at times when they're swimming through, depending on water clarity, you got a blue flash to them.
Yeah.
And in dirty water. So let's talk about that now. Okay, so runoff's happening, right? Spring is supposedly coming at one point. Yeah. We're going to have snow melt. We're going to have rain in the forecast, dirty water. What do you change in your plastics then if you get chocolate milk for a while?
Chocolate milk, I ain't fishing.
But I mean, it's tournament day. You don't have a choice.
Have you guys seen in some of the previous fishing tournaments that true chocolate milk, it's 2-inch visibility? You should just put your stuff on the trail.
Yeah, but you
go
fished
home.
Events where you don't have a choice. You have to fish through that chocolate milk.
You do.
Okay, so besides going to a rattling bait, a bladed bait, if you had to primarily fish a plastic, why and what are you going?
Well, so then I think that's where your scent comes into play, which is kind of why we grabbed the scent. So I grabbed the Spike It markers because, I fish a lot of naturals like the schmelt color ripple shad.
Schmelt? How do you spell that?
Schmelt is with the CH.
So
it's kind of like sword.
Andy, old salt.
I usually cut my schmelt with a sword.
Schwartz. May the Schwartz be with you. But okay, so we talked about the RTM brand. That's a local brand, right?
Yep.
Old Salt is also. This was created on the Lake Winnebago system.
Yes.
Yep. That's where he's a local guy. He's got a bunch of different flavors. And his panfish, walleye. He's got cleaners. He's got it in chapstick form. Yep. If you want something that maybe adheres to the bait.
It didn't really help my
lips. It's not going to help your love life at all. Garlic flavored chapstick?
Yeah.
Not a thing.
That was weird.
Well, it's a thing.
Weird taste. Is it weird that my mouth went numb after a while?
Yeah.
But it was fun.
Imagine how Molly felt.
Oh, what's up?
We did it.
So you just grabbed something. Why? What did you grab in here? Liquid willow cat?
Liquid willow cat, man.
That's a Mississippi staple.
It's mashed up minnows, man.
And that is, yeah.
Sniff it, I dare you. Sniff it live on the air right now.
Let me smell that stuff.
Put a little on your finger.
Honestly, most of this, it's a lot of this stuff's a fish oil base, so little tweaks in the formulas. These guys are like fish chemists, right? They're like, I got 2% anise in there and 3% garlic, and if you have 3.5% garlic, they ain't gonna eat it. And I'm like, okay, let's just do that. But everybody does it for a reason. They have their favorites, just like plastic favorites. So,
You have any sense in your boat?
I actually use those spike. It's a garlic Sharpie. It's a permanent Sharpie marker. So if like the water does get dirty or I'm fishing, more stained water, I might take my schmelt
style
ripple shad and take that orange out or that chartreuse out and put some color on the tail. Now I added color and I added scent.
Yes.
And I got one bait.
So like why? Okay, so I asked a question a couple of times, and I think we just kind of go on tangents. But like, why salt? What does the salt do in the plastics? It's not. Is it flavor or is it buoyancy?
For walleye fishing, how about nothing?
Is it just flavor your walleye before you eat it, or like why salt though? I mean, there's more than just flavor with salt, right? Buoyancy, is that a big thing with the salt?
So salt, to my knowledge, is only added to baits to add weight.
Okay.
I mean, it might add a little texture. It might add a little flavor when the fish eat it.
Yep.
I don't think salt's naturally occurring in the fisheries.
Well, neither
system.
is garlic, right? Unless once they're on a fry pan, garlic is the thing. But these are, it's just crazy. Coffee, there's another one. Like why is coffee another one of those flavors, right? Like you said, why are they not going to more stuff like the liquid willow cat, where it's just chomped up fish in a jar and let it ferment for a couple days?
I think maybe this time of year with the pressure out on the rivers with 9,000 Guggens out there, I think you're just trying to do something different than everybody else is doing.
Is there? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, no, I've heard a story from a guy that it may have been a tournament, like what's the superstition or just a religious first thing you do every time you start fishing, Brian. You used to take a fish oil scent before you touch any of your rods, your reels, or your baits, or anything in your boat. Get your hands lubed, wash them in the lake water, and now what you've done is you've eliminated all the unnatural scent from pumping gas at Quick Trip, eating your breakfast sandwich, drinking your coffee. So it's kind of two things, but
that is a great question. I think we should ask the chat too, is like how many anglers that are watching this show right now, hopefully it's soon to be 20, are doing those same steps. In my world of like just a weekend fisherman, I never would have thought of like being scent free. Now, if we're talking deer hunting, you damn right I'm doing scent free.
It's funny
stuff.
You say that though. The scent free thing. A few years back, we're on the Winnie County Bridge, just pounding walleyes, And then the next morning, we were out there and we were just getting handed to us. And we were sitting there, and I put a fresh dip in a wintergreen skull, and it was still on my fingers. And I put a leech on, dropped it down, and literally, I don't even think it hit bottom. And we
keep
got
that
cracked.
Skull, baby. Yep.
And my buddy's like, dude, you just put a dip in? I said, yeah. So what we started doing, we were dipping our fingers in the wintergreen skull, rubbing it on the leeches and the floating jig heads, dropping it down. We were done in no time.
That makes no sense at all.
I know. We watched dudes next to us not catch fish.
Well, thank you.
And it was weird. He's like, dude, remember, like, we're trying to be all secret about it. Right? I'm like, I got my shit,
You're looking for a sponsorship?
Right.
But Skull, reach out.
I was going to ask that question. Is there like a secret? Or is there something like, I've also heard, and now I'm going to get sabotaged or, yelled at, but like I've heard guys I might use a little WD-40.
Yeah, that's an old school musky. Yeah. Spraying some musky bucktails down with some WD-40.
WD, like,
don't let the WD in our part.
Illegal practice.
But it's also like
frowned upon and illegal.
There's been anglers that say like, once that bait has the fish slime on it, that is the fish catching bait because it's natural. It already has the fish smell to it. Then that's when we're like, you're really superstitious. Now you're really not washing your hands and all that kind of stuff.
Washing your hands with smelt, don't fall on your sword.
Do it. So no, but I like that we went that way because like, not only do they come scented, but like there's a lot of times too where I'll take other plastics, not the Z-Man stuff because it'll eat your other plastics, but I'll put it in a Berkeley bag.
Yeah.
I'll put it in a Galt bag. I'll do that, just to help get a little extra stank to them, which is hopefully going to catch them fishes.
Right. Well, back to your WD-40, that one of the main ingredients in that is fish oil.
Yep.
So that's why people use it. And obviously there's other petroleum products in there, which is why it's not legal to use on the water. Right. You can't just, pour your gas out. I'm sure the formula's
changed over years, but I know like I said, back in the day, it was a lot of.
Yeah, just a fish oil. They just, I don't know how they.
So now during fishing season, do you guys go get fish oil vitamins and just keep pumping them in your system?
Right,
so you are one with the fishes?
I've been taking the little krill oil pills and just poking them on the hook.
I usually mix it with my hams and then I'm out there fishing.
Okay, and then what about okay, so we talked about Flava Flavs, we talked about colors a little bit, dirty water, clean water. You don't have a choice, you can't leave the system, right? You got to catch fish that day, right? You only have one day to go out on the fox or on the wolf when it's dirty. You got to do what you got to do to catch some fish. Now,
if that's the case, like I said, I'm probably going something a little larger profile. Probably a darker color in general, just to get like that shadow effect. And something ribbed like that, just a little more vibration.
Yep. What about retrieves, cadences? Talk about that a little bit. When things are good.
Different show. I'm just kidding. There's so many tangents a guy can go off of on all these different techniques and line weight, lure weight,
Yeah.
Well,
in the cadence, jigging, rib jigging, straight retrieve, hopping it, dragging it, vertical jigging.
And it's always just, the idea is to try to figure out what the fish want.
Yep.
Same fish, same conditions, different day. They could just be a completely different.
So the two of you are in a boat, the same boat. Okay. Are your game plan in that day? Are you going to start with one color, one size, one thing with one retrieve? And are you going to say, hey, Mike, why don't you try this, and this, and try something different?
He ain't telling me anything.
Yeah. And I'm not fishing with Mike either. I don't want to sit there and vertical jig all day.
I don't vertical jig much.
You start throwing them, Mike. I got knives too, brother.
These guys work together every day.
We do. It's a blast. Come on in. Hey, come see us.
Yeah, come see us. If you want to see the arguing live and in person, the store is open.
We treat each other with respect when we're on the floor. It's just situations like this where, we like to have fun. We're people.
Yes.
So now as you get, I think we did a nice job. We can get into jigs. I want to cover the jig type stuff. But so we covered a lot of beginner type information. Why this plastic, why this size, why this shape, why this color, so on and so forth. Is there any, before we move into the jig world of it all, any pro tips that you can give with plastics, things that may help trigger a strike?
Be versatile. That's the biggest thing. Don't be afraid to try a different color, different size, different cadence on your retrieve. That's the thing with plastics. You can do anything with them. You don't have to worry about them falling off.
Yep. I would suggest just take, just try them. Take what you're doing with your live bait and replace your minnow with the plastic or a gulp or something. Something artificial and experiment, because that's how everybody learns.
Experimenting is fun. Would you ever drop shot or Ned rig?
We're gonna talk about that on a different.
Oh, we're leaving that one. We'll leave that one.
But I did bring a bag of Neds in here.
Oh, okay.
Because
so are we segueing into next Friday's show?
Next week or the week after or something.
Okay, so then
well, it's kind of
like something we definitely could bring up.
It's like your plastics.
We'll do a show down the line on non-traditional walleye techniques.
Oh, I like that.
Bass baits for walleye.
Next Friday show.
On that,
great idea.
Because you're seeing a huge crossover.
And then
well, I think the walleye plastic started with the bass guys. You know what I mean?
Never really. I thought walleye guys and bass guys can't be friends.
Right?
They can't.
I thought they can't be friends. So this you handed me these because these are another bass.
That is a bass
that has become extremely popular.
Which I think probably 99% of these plastics probably originated as a bass bait.
Where's the easy shiner?
Well, and this is you mentioned how long is that wall of Kitex?
I don't know. It's
742 feet.
Is the longest wall in the state of Wisconsin of Kitech products. Find a different store and we'll prove you wrong.
There are no
other stores. This is the Easy Shiner. So this is the swings, the fat swings and the skinny swings right here, right? And then we got the Easies.
Yep.
I run a lot of the Easy Shiner.
Okay, but if you won't find another store in Wisconsin that has more Kitex than us.
Nope. I don't think there's a store in the country, probably.
Oh, there it is.
Give him a chuck.
I would like to see.
I
would like to see somebody.
Yeah, Bob's getting all angry. He's like, "Stop showing them."
Oh, here, Bob. I'm gonna piss some more people off.
Let's do it.
Here, hold this one.
Getting cray.
Here's another bass company. There's a couple people that probably want to ring me.
Yep.
Mega Bass Spark Shad, again, a swim bait, soft swim bait, available in 2 sizes. I think there's 7 colors. The colors, chartreuse is the color that obviously catches bass and walleye. So you'll find a lot of bass baits that are, that lend themselves to catching whatever. So we're gonna
dive deeper into bass baits for walleyes next Friday.
Sure.
Okay.
Yep.
Sure.
But we just segued into what next Friday's show is going to be all about. Now,
I brought your favorite. I brought your favorite one too, Matt.
Don't forget this guy too.
I know. I brought. Literally, we could just. You want to name them all off? Because I brought.
We could.
Well, yeah, I think that's something that we should do because, like, let's flex a little bit. And you said how many different plastic brands do we carry just in the walleye assortment?
I don't know. It's massive. Well, we can go through these. I think I got 20 here. And I didn't grab everything. Again, within the 20, just body styles. These are just sizes of body styles.
And again, we're all available at therealshot.com.
Yep, www.
Yeah, don't forget a W.
I forgot a W last time.
Yeah,
got hammered on.
Hammered.
Production crew I walked in the bag, I got punched right in the mouth.
We're sticklers, bro. We're sticklers. So yeah, but I mean, just 20 here alone.
Yep.
And not including, because how many, say RTM.
You take this RTM rib shed in 3/8. We got probably, a dozen, 14 colors of just this one.
Yep, just style. That size.
Yeah.
Now we'll go over to
What's
the
up,
Lunker City
else?
Finesse. And we got the 4-inch, and there's, I think 2 or 3 sizes. Again, another 12, 18 colors of that. I mean, you're looking at 60 Lunker Cities.
Oh, Lunker City walls, 8 foot wide, 9 foot tall.
Yeah.
I can't even reach the top. Well, Mike can't either.
I can't either.
We got a step stool so he can get his favorite color.
I just throw stuff at it.
When I merchandise it, I always merchandise his favorite color
Justin and throw him
on the top.
Yes.
Justin, grab this one from the top, bro.
Hey, what is Robert saying? Kalins are only scented for bass?
Not walleye.
Bass eat everything. They don't care what's on it.
So do walleye.
Let's be real about this.
Okay, so I again, if we get 20 across the board, we're going to do a giveaway. So start sharing if you haven't done it already.
Call some friends, guys.
Call a friend. Phone a friend.
The more we get, the more we give.
Now,
That's right.
so we've been crack-a-lacking for about 40 minutes. So do you want to get into jigs, or do we want to briefly hit on jigs and then cover that with a different
I think jigs
show?
are pretty basic. You're trying to
Yeah, but you can't always say that they're pretty basic, right? Because there's different styles.
There's different
tungsten,
styles.
there's lead, there's
tungsten, yeah.
there. You have different keepers on them. All this stuff plays into the fact that jigs are not all
But as
the
far
same.
as plastics, you're trying to match it with your jig and then or your plastic, and you're trying to match current, depth, stuff. So I'm not gonna say it's. I mean, when I say it's basic,
So my number one thing for selecting a jig for your size of plastic is the size of the hook.
correct.
So the longer hook you get, the stiffer your swim bait becomes, and the less action you're going to get out of it. So that's to me number one. And then the tungsten lead argument, if you're swimming it probably doesn't make a huge difference. Tungsten's denser, gonna have a smaller head,
Smaller profile.
so you're gonna have a little bit more flow over that body versus where a bigger head kind of is gonna push that water maybe off to the side a little bit more. So it's probably subtle and doesn't make a difference. But
Yeah, but what about
morning, Thomas?
your tumble? You're talking like your tumble when the current's heavy flowing. You don't want that bait. Do you want that bait to naturally tumble, or if you're vertical, you want it to kind of sit where it should be, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I maybe I didn't explain that, but you mentioned, Mike, like all jigs are created equal. No, they're not.
I wouldn't say
we got a
they're
Google
created equal.
Eye
I
with
wouldn't
a
say
rattle. We got the tungsten drop TG. I mean, it's like
I mean, I went to the tungsten.
I got
on heavier current
6
days.
different baits right here, just that are not.
I went to the tungsten on the heavier current days because I can get away with a heavier jig and a smaller profile.
Yep.
So I got less drag. Easier to keep vertical.
Now, okay, as we're talking about that, some have bigger eyes, some have what do you look for in a keeper then? Let me ask you that, because you mentioned the authentic stuff is so soft. You need a good keeper on that stuff.
I'm not worried about keepers.
You're not? Not with this extremely soft plastics? You don't care if you go through a bunch of plastics?
Nope, not at all. They're not getting reused anyway. At the end of the day, they're getting thrown on the bank or in the garbage, one of the two.
Did you see on the bank? Jesus.
You're just keeping
the bottom of the boat
diver
somewhere.
business.
Enjoy your last show. You're going to jail.
I'm looking for Ed the Diver to find him later.
Ed the Diver, yeah, he's gonna find him. So can you before we wrap this up, can you rig up one of your favorite plastics, Mike, that you potentially want to give away on something? And Justin, can you rig up your favorite plastic, the Ripple Shad, on something?
I can, yeah. I'm just looking at Robert's. He uses a 4-aught on everything. See, I fish a lot of Kitech 2.8s. I like For some reason, I like a little bit of finesse. I don't know why. Probably because I'm musky fisherman.
Four out, and you were complaining about.
Yeah, but you put a 4-aught and a 2.8, and the hook's sticking out the back. The paddle doesn't even move.
Running 2.8s anyway.
But he's probably fishing. I'm guessing he's fishing bigger plastic too. Yeah. But it's interesting just to see how everybody has an opinion on what they fish, and obviously there's some very successful anglers on here, so we should maybe pay attention.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say there's a lot of different ways to skin a cat,
100%.
And it just depends on what and like Justin, you said this earlier. What are the fish telling you that day? That's how you got to figure that game out. They're telling you yes. They're telling you I got 3 things on my mind: stay alive, eat, and what was the last one?
Swim away from Mike's boat.
Right?
Going in the box,
right?
Michael, eat me. So what are you rigging up here, Michael?
I am rigging a Bunker City Finesse 4-inch on a clam TG tungsten, which it's only 8 ounce.
1/8 ounce and a 1-aught. So I grabbed that. I grabbed that for.
Did you want the bigger one here?
No, see that drops you up to a 2-aught. That's why I grabbed the 1/8. That's where they stop. So a lot of jig companies, as the head gets bigger, the hook size also grows with it.
Gotcha.
So I think we're starting to see a trend from some manufacturers. Like maybe I want to fish this swim bait in 20 feet of water, or maybe I want to fish it that day in a 3-foot rock shelf. Right? I don't want to increase my hook size with my weight, but I want to increase my weight.
Yep.
So that's why it's kind of nice to see some of these manufacturers keeping that 1-aught through all the sizes.
Through all the sizes, yeah.
That has just always been a thing.
I mean, you saw some of my jigs I got the other day, man. They got like,
oh my god,
giant 4 and 5-aught.
Well, that's the
VSC
thing.
Barbarian hooks on them,
right?
Like not all hook strength is created equal too.
Yeah,
like there's some that are that are just mainly for penetration.
There's mine.
Okay, so this is a.
As
I'm holding it, again, explain what we're looking at here.
That is the Clam Drop TG tungsten jig. It's only an 1/8 ounce, but I would normally run probably a quarter. That's minimum. That's on the Bunker City Fin S split tail and chartreuse silk ice. Sounds like a stripper name.
Only you would know that.
Silk ice.
You bring cinnamon also.
Yeah, cinnamon. Yeah, and Destiny and.
So Andy, can you see this?
Zoom in on that bad boy.
I just want Andy to zoom in on this so people can see how Mike rigged this up. And then the other thing too is like I'm trying to control my shake. And look how much movement is in that plastic already though.
Yep. That's why like you don't even need to have any cadence at all. Just slam 2 giant 20-ounce quick trip coffees and hold your rod high. Just
to hold it there. Yep.
You'll get some action.
And this is that split tail. This is one. Mike is a big fan of the split tails. Did you rig up?
I didn't because you're rigging almost 99.9% of these baits the same way. So what only difference is head size and hook size.
Well, can you rig up? Just do me a favor. Rig up a ripple shad. I want to hold them side by side just so we can show like how much movement there is maybe in the different styles of plastic. Like,
and if I put a hook through it, I gotta buy it. You know, I got so many of this.
That's weird.
Right. Sleek head and then,
well, maybe that's the one you're giving away.
Grab me the big ripples, and grab me that sleek head there.
Yep, there you go. Okay, so he grabbed a ripple shad in his favorite color, schmelt. And he's also grabbed some VMC sleek jigs.
I saw. I was just looking in the bag.
And now they're planning on what they're doing after work tonight. Going to the river.
Actually, I think we're gonna go fishing together. What do you think?
Sure.
All right, let's do that.
Whose boat?
Well, he's got the brand new boat. So we gotta rig that up. He's got.
Can you catch walleyes out of a musky boat?
Yeah, you can. The problem is they just keep bouncing off the side of it. But I don't even.
I mean, his net skills are yet to be desired.
Do you see the fish I net for my wife? My net skill. I'm like the old Rapala Extreme Netman commercial. You ever see that?
Yeah.
Shit.
Just so you know, Captain Bob absolutely loves your coffee comments.
Ginger,
so true to
Ginger Ninja,
Ninja
Extreme Netman.
And again, as another guide, he's like, sometimes it's hard to coach that when you're guiding. So that's what he's just gonna do. He's just gonna suggest his clients get coffees.
Yeah, got a little long on that hook point, but we'll figure it out.
Okay, so here we go. So left hand ripple shad on
they
the
don't care. They can't see.
Sleek head.
They just feel.
Again, and I'm trying to do my best, and we had the Mike rigging on my right hand side, but there's a lot more in that tail of the split tail. But again, like you just look at the body styles, they're completely different. You got more ribbing with the paddle,
little deeper body style, yeah.
Yep. And again, both very proven. Now, Andy, I'm gonna hold these. I don't know if you can see what is the weird design with the sleek from VMC. What in that hook? What is that supposed to do? Can you talk? Can you talk about those two?
That's almost like it's like a sickle style almost.
The hook, or are you talking about the head itself? Because so that's the sleek.
Well, so I'm just talking like the hook bend right now. You guys, if you want to cover the head difference,
it's almost got like a sickle style hook on it.
I'm trying to move this, Andy. Can you see that all right on there? Hopefully the viewers can kind of see it. There's just a bend,
standard round bend, and then you got like a sickle style. I mean,
so it's got a little bit of a not a perfect circle bend. it hits at like a. There's a little bit of an angle in there.
Here, if I hold it up, and maybe my mic, if I hold it right behind my mic, is that worse? That makes it worse. Sorry.
Put it up by your face.
Put it in your mouth.
Well, they're supposed to enjoy the look. Let's see which one right here.
Yeah.
Set it.
Set.
We can show you why I like the sickle style hooks and why they stay pinned.
Well, you know what, guys? Thanks. This is very informative. I think you guys did a great job.
I like the sickle style hook. Most of my stuff that I make and build and buy, I try and request like a sickle style hook. I think, me personally, I feel like the fish stay hooked better.
There's a company that actually has designed, and we carry their product, Spear Point. They actually have a more extreme bend in it also. The idea is that the round bend, the hook can become dislodged in the fish a little easier. So the little bit of a point or little change in angle kind of helps keep that fish pinned.
Correct.
It's science. I mean...
Yeah. It's physics and
I usually I use round bend almost exclusively because of the jigs I like, which are I like the Clam TG, and I also like the Kitech Super Round. Both are little tungsten.
That's the one right here. Yep. Here, I'll hold up the Super Round.
Is that a bass jig?
That is a bass jig.
So we're gonna cover that next week, Friday. You guys are back in here.
I have crossover on the table, quite a bit of it. So.
Oh yeah.
So this is the one Justin just referred to. This is a Kitech. What was it? I know I can read
That's
it.
That's a Kitech Super Round. It's their tungsten head. They come, I think, as small as a 32nd with like a number 2 hook, and then up to a quarter with a 2/0 hook. So there's a huge range of hook sizes and weights. Well, but they're all one color. Like it's all a tungsten gray plain Jane. And that's all.
Well, and then the other thing too is like these are available, and a lot of the jigs we carry are also available in weedless.
Yep,
right?
Absolutely. Yep.
And what about now? I know this is more next week's bass to walleye conversion table, but like rigging weedless with like like a weedless Ned style head. We can cover that next week, but those are potentially things you got to do too. As
there's not a whole lot of systems that I fish that weedless application. There's one river system north that fish are in the wood a lot. So guys, we'll run weedless presentations because there's just a lot of laydowns, but those fish are sitting behind them as current breaks, resting.
But getting into the spring bite, they're mostly middle of the system or kind of moving in and out of the shallow flats during
up and down. You'll see them throughout the day, move up or down the shelf. Same like on the Wolf River too. Same thing. You'll see starting out in the morning, they might be up higher to the docks as the day goes on. They're towards the middle. It's just time of day, sun conditions, cloudy conditions, boat pressure. You'll see those fish move up or down.
Yep.
That's the thing. Matt just inspired me to maybe we should just all be vertical jigging the Wolf with weedless jigs. Think about how less expensive that might be.
You're still good.
Your hook rate might go down a little bit. That would be the only concern, but I don't know. Thanks, Matt.
Hey, that's what I'm here for.
Right?
One last thing. This time of year, how important are your electronics when you're fishing the plastics of this application?
I think electronics are important no matter what time of year it is. This time of year, you're just trying to find those big pods of fish. Stay on.
So like the live imaging stuff.
Side imaging first to find them.
Yep.
And then I'll get around on them and spot lock and stare at them with the live scope. Watch them hit.
That's pretty much that's the program. I don't even think Mike would probably agree. I don't even wet a line until I find what I'm looking for.
It is crazy how many more people, hard water, soft water, are just
live scoping stuff.
Well,
it's funny. I mean, this is probably for a whole different show. We could talk about electronics, but I mean, within the last couple of years, you had so many people crying and bitching about tournaments, live scope. It's a rich man's game now because guys are spending $3,000 on their live scope. Go down the river right now. Look at how many $3,000 boats got live scope on them. Right. And tell me it's a rich man's game. If they choose to spend the money on their electronics, you don't piss them off when you don't catch fish.
It's very true.
Know what I mean?
What about do you remember, Justin, when Garmin first hit? what people were doing to buy them in the store, like selling us products, layawaying them. Don't tell my wife, right? Like,
yeah, he was like, "Can I trade my son for the Garmin Live Scope?" I'm like,
"How old is he?
Does he have a good work ethic?
Yeah, does he work ethic?
Yeah. Can he lift and more than 50 pounds, climb ladders, and bend at the knees? Because there you go. We can put him to work.
How many hours are we getting for? Like, is this
if he can do those 3, he's better than most of us that are working here right now.
So no, it just electronics just eliminates dead water. Like
it's more efficient.
Yeah,
I mean, live scope, fish and bagel system and stuff like that. And I'm coming up on certain structures like as big as this table out in the middle of the lake. We have Mark come up on it and scan the live scope. No fish. I'm off to the next.
Yep.
I'm not. I know it's there. I'm not gonna sit and cast at it blindly if I don't know there's fish there.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Well, plus, like we talked about a lot with this stuff that's in front of us, this plastics, like you're getting to see the fish, how they react. What is it about my cadence, my color, my size, my, all my drop rate, all this stuff is being told live.
Yep. It's just fine tuning every aspect of your presentation to increase your catch, regardless of why you're out there for food or fun.
Yep.
Right.
Is you want to catch fish. That's why
do they want wintergreen or do they want cherry?
Right, exactly.
Right? Like, which one is it today? Right? You know what I'm saying?
I'm have to try that.
That was a one-time deal. We tried it before.
Have you tried it again?
Yeah, it didn't work.
Didn't work.
No,
just that day.
It was weird.
Conditions.
Like I changed the dip and I'm like boom, and like I don't even think it hit bottom. Like it just kept going. And then we was like, dude, let's try that again. We just kept doing it, and then there was like 3 of us on the bridge doing it. It was pretty funny that day.
All right, well, okay, we're gonna wrap this up. Thanks everybody for watching. Andy, did we hit 20?
Side imaging 100%.
Yeah,
correct.
I think we should just go for another hour. This is way.
We don't have to be done, but
what do you think, Mike? The other guys got the sales floor.
There you go. That's a biography.
They got it all day. We can sit and talk about this for a little bit more. Shit, I got nothing else to do.
Your fans are in the store wanting you. But like you,
this is such a Robert's. Yeah, that is so accurate. It's hilarious. Those pods of fish just moved too. Those guys might have been on that same pod an hour ago, and once the bite stopped, they just kind of hoping for that school or that pod to move back in, but they didn't. Nope, they moved up by Robert, and he went and banged on them.
Yeah,
you just got to keep on moving. Like the fish, they don't stop. They do, but like they don't.
They're cruising around.
Yeah, they're moving,
chasing pods,
chilling, moving.
Like I said, if you got a boat that creeps up on you and fish start dying off a little bit,
you're moving and grooving.
I mean, there's a ton of river. There's fish all over the system right now.
Do either of you guys have like power poles?
Yeah.
So I mean, again, that's
only
next week's show, right?
Yeah, probably the only walleye boat on the river with a power pole.
I mean, it's growing. I mean, obviously that need for the shallow water anchors. I
don't even use it for the anchor that much. I more use it for like drift control.
Okay,
I'll put the paddle on it.
Yeah,
and you can change the angle of that paddle, so I can get my boat to pretty much run perpendicular. If I'm fishing by myself, I get it to run into an angle so that I'm on the bow of the boat, pointing where I need to cast.
Yeah, and especially when you got bumper boats out there too, boat control is super critical. Yeah. Like you just go get into this. Let's just have common courtesy, right?
Well,
like let's just be nice to each other.
Then you got the knucklehead that anchors in the middle of everybody's drift line, and everyone's got to go around them. And
yeah, angler etiquette and common courtesy, which is similar to common sense. That's like we should have
we could do a whole episode on that.
Oh, it's a lot more common than you
guys should join us for the dude factor because Brian likes to go, baby. When it's like open the bail and just let it go. They'll go sometimes. It's fun though, but it's a big thing this time of year too. Like everybody, there's a lot of fish. Just be smart, be safe, and then just be nice sometimes.
Yeah, you get a river system full of anglers fish and mix that with some cabin fever after a long crappy winter. I mean, people do get twitchy.
Oh yeah,
yeah, it's a thing. But everybody's out there for the same reason, so we all just try to get along.
Just be friends.
Some guys don't want to be friends.
But if you want to come in and see us, please do. We have the largest walleye plastics assortment you will find in the valley, hands down, not even close.
Correct. 100%.
And arguably probably the state of Wisconsin.
So next week, Friday, you guys are back in here. We're going to talk kind of bass plastics.
Non-traditional walleye techniques.
But then maybe we could bring some rod reel combos in and kind of start. As we segment through this, we've kind of covered jigs, plastics, Maybe we dive into line selection with rod reel selection, and then we can go non-traditional one show too, and just kind of keep going. I mean, the spring fever is hitting for a lot of people. Let's just educate everybody. Sometimes secrets it's fun to give away.
There's not a whole lot of secrets left. It's just
you talk to some bandits. That's my secret. Nobody ever knows about that. Even though my 4 buddies told me about this secret, right? Like,
yeah,
it is secrets are spots. Spots are always a secret.
Yeah, this is my secret, right? The ripple shad, but somebody else designed it, so it was somebody else's secret.
Somebody else's secret before yours.
There's a lot of Berkeley pros fishing that long before I ever even found it. So.
No,
and Mike hates
no
it.
more secrets.
Isn't that what Shirts was pounding on the Detroit River? Wasn't he using the ripple shad?
Yep.
No,
on that currency. I thought it was Shirts that was pounding.
Mike Gofron.
No, I think it was Shirts.
Shirts was using ripple shads too. I think he was using.
He was on that one currency like 3 days in a row.
The first event of the PWS. Yeah, he was slam dunking him.
I mean, think about that, Mike. Other people like it too.
I know.
Yeah,
I mean, I got him.
We both know that Nick Shirts is just an absolute hammer.
I mean, look at the beard he's got. I mean,
yeah,
I think that dude lost a bunch of weight now. He's just trimmed up, slimmed up. I mean, he's looking good. But no, before we go, I know we've said that 5 times now. What about you? Had mentioned we got another giveaway for next week, Justin, that you're gonna do.
What
is it? You got a rod maybe that you want to do?
Yeah, if we can get the participation up, I have a TFO Temple Fork Outfitters 7.6 medium light, which is a great all around walleye light presentations, hair jigs.
Quarter-ounce.
I would love to give that rod away. It's a tactical bass rod. It's one of
they might have to pay shipping though, right?
Yeah, if you have to pay freight, probably cost you $20 or $30 to get it to your door. It's a $200 plus rod.
Okay.
Or
just come in and pick it up, and we'll hook you up with.
We do have a great deal. It's actually one of they're discontinuing the line for specific reasons that aren't really important here, but it's still a great high end graphite rod that somebody would be very happy to own. So
next week, that's going to be our giveaway. So
this week giveaway.
What is, if we want live viewers, right? Because people are going to watch this throughout the week. To be on next week because you guys are super entertaining. You do a nice job. What is our goal? So, Friday 9 a.m. So what's our goal for viewership? We said 20 today. We didn't quite hit it. We got close. For that rod, though, I think we should up it a little bit.
30.
Yeah, 30, Joe, 40. Tell some friends. Robert, tell some friends. I mean, you got to tell friends because if we don't have the participation, we don't have a free rod to give away.
Nice.
Your odds go down, but they really go down if we don't hit 30. Or what number do we want to do?
Well, it's up to you. It's a $200 rod. I mean, 35, 40 is what my thoughts should be. Can we get there? We almost hit 20 today, which is we're building it daily.
All right, maybe next week we take number 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, write them on a piece of paper, throw them in a bucket. We'll pick one.
Okay, so somebody's got to watch this. Andy, got to tell them.
Well, we'll pick it when we start live. So regardless, anything,
north of 20.
Otherwise, you better start scrambling, call your neighbors.
So there you go. So then now they can tell everybody. Scramble and tell your neighbors. All right. Well, thanks, everybody. The chat, you guys were fantastic with the questions, the comments, the suggestions. It was great. You guys did a phenomenal job. Again, tell everybody to where they can find all the plastics and what the number to the store is and what your hours are and everything like that.
Store number again?
920-750-6140.
Nice. Okay.
Call me. Talk dirty to me.
What about the fantastic website?
www.therealshot.com.
Okay. And then what are your current store hours?
Monday through Wednesday, 10 to 6. Thursday, Friday, 9 to 7. Saturday, 8 to 5. Closed on Sunday.
And then there's not only are you two fantastic gentlemen working the floor, we have Ty Cornell, Nick Schneider went in the fishing department, right? Andrew in the firearms department. So there's a lot of knowledge on the staff.
Evan Muskas.
Evan Muskies.
Yep, Evan Muskovich. We got a pretty healthy mix of bass, walleye, salmon, trout, as obviously you guys watch some of the stuff. Muskie, which we won't get into that.
Hey, but I think that's a whole show. That used selection of musky stuff that we get, that's probably the best deal you're ever going to find. So
it goes past too.
It does. It does. That's another show. All right, cool, everybody. Enjoy your Friday. If you get out this weekend, do a little fishing, please support The Real Shot. Stop down, shop online, get some of these awesome plastics. Hopefully these guys give you enough knowledge to go out there and catch a bag and eat them up dinner.
No, we're talking about the pier. We're not.
We don't
want to talk about dinner. Read the fish regulations and the health advisories. And then if you still want to keep them, just don't feed them.
I think
to your
Saturday.
children.
I think Saturday starts the 28 inch
Hey,
and up.
that's a whole nother conversation. That's a soft spot for this guy.
We are just building
That's a
topic
soft
after
spot.
topic today.
Well, read the regs.
I think Saturday starts the 28 and up. I believe.
This is slots, sir. Okay.
You
All
want-
right. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day. We will talk to you next week.
I really wanted to go.